What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Houndoom's House. My name is Ben, and today I think we've got a fun one because we got a big box of slabs back from CGC. So let's jump in and take a look. To start off, we have a non-pristine Chandelure and a 10. So we've got 110 off to a good start. This is a very cool card. I love Chandelure. I think it's a great Pokemon. All these spooky, like, kind of ghost Pokemon. I know Chandelure's fire, I guess, but very popular in my household. So very happy to see that one. And ooh, we can see on the top on each side, we've got two pristine 10s. So let's just start with this left one. We're going to go down that whole pile and then we'll jump into the other one. But let's look at the back of this just to get a little gauge for what a pristine back looks like. This is really clean, and you can see some of that dust is still hanging around, but this is very nice. Like, the back is really well centered. It's a little left heavy, but looking good. I mean, no whitening. You know, I did notice that the color on some of these Chinese cards was like, it looks a little faded, I feel like, but I'm not sure if that would impact the grade. I thought it would, but with this obviously being a pristine, it appears not. But let's see what we've got. And we've got a Chandelure in a pristine 10. All right, so we're only going up. I love the labels on these, but as you can see, I mean, actually, this is like pretty off-center on the front. This must have been really clean otherwise to get the pristine 10. I mean, it looked really good on the back, but definitely off-center, front and back. So I'm not going to complain. We'll take the pristine. I'm going to try to sort those into a pile, but we'll see how that goes. So next one, and I just went right into it apparently, is the Chandelure in a pristine, or in a regular 10 once again. Nothing new there. So what I did for these is I actually blindly bought these on eBay. I just bought 7 of each from a listing. I didn't check out a single card. I pre-graded them in another video, but I just wanted to send them all in. And basically, Chandelure in a 10, the idea was I was going to send all of these in blindly. I was just going to go from point A to point B to point C, China to me to grading, and I guess point D back to me. And I was going to see what happened. I just thought it would be a fun experiment. You know, like, these cards are normally pretty clean. So what if it went really well? You know, is that then an option to just easily buy things and maybe have a good grading play without taking all the time to search? But we've got another pristine 10, enough rambling. And we've got another Chandelure and a pristine 10. So it looks like the order of these is going to be pretty predictable. You know, and that makes sense. Next one, Chandelure probably. All right, and we've got another 10. So only 10s and pristine 10s to start so far. I'm guessing one last Chandelure because this, yeah, that's 6. All right, Chandelure with a good run, 5 total 10s and 2 pristine 10s. Now, one thing I also noticed when I was buying this lot, so I've been buying simplified Chinese for a while, and I noticed that it looks like some of these weren't as gradable as former cards that I've purchased. So something to keep an eye on, especially with the bigger ones. But let's see, I think we're starting on a new Pokemon now, and we've got Ceruledges in a Gem Mint 10. So this is a nasty, nasty artwork. I mean, this is so good. I love the colors on this. I know I talk about it all the time, just like color schemes and things, but something about a really good color scheme on a card, and it just that's very visually appealing to me, I guess. And I love this, like the teal, blue, purple, like the nighttime, very cool. So this is a very cool one. So continuing with the 10s. But like I was saying, they're just, you know, I used to buy a lot of alternate arts. I guess not a whole bunch. I probably bought like 50 over 2024, 2025. I'd send them in for grading, and they would usually come back at 10, almost a guarantee with PSA. But I'm not getting them that clean anymore just by buying on eBay. So this is going to be a good gauge on where that kind of is right now. And we've got another Gem Mint 10 Ceruledge. So like I said, I'm gonna see how this goes. So far, really good. But again, the cleanest cards were these two, because I think, you know, the bigger cards, Gengar, Cubone, Meowths, they were grading those. I noticed on their eBay page that there were more graded copies of those cards. I'd see them on eBay, right? So I'm expecting that these lower ones that aren't as popular, they're still awesome artworks and great cards, but I don't think they're the grading play, obviously, of those other cards. And I think we're seeing right here, maybe the rest of the submission is going to be like this, and it's just going to be 10 after 10 after 10. But when I was looking at those pre-grading, I got the hint that probably wasn't the case. So we'll take what we can get, though, because we're absolutely cruising right now. We've got, like, I don't know, 10 10s and 2 pristine 10s. So let's keep it going. Another Ceruledge. Ooh, we got our first 9. I've been waiting for at least one 9. None of these really seemed like perfectly centered, to be honest. So I didn't think that they would all, I didn't really think any of these would come back 10s like across the board. But hey, I guess they're pretty clean otherwise. So again, I think we're got to be getting to another Pokemon here soon. And we're at Meowth now, and we've got a Gem Mint 10 to start off on the Meowth. I love this artwork. All of the moons and the lanterns are so cool. It's really funny because it's just like, my wife's a huge fan of some of these Pokemon, and I think they've just got like artworks with a lot of things that she really likes too. So a lot of these cards are right up her alley. So I know I've already got a copy of Cubone and Gengar in the binder for us to have in the collection. But I'm maybe going to probably have to keep one of each of these as well. But we got the Meowth in the 10. That's awesome. So let's add that to the pile. Going on, another Meowth in a 10. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe some of these are grading a little better than I thought. Some of these Meowths had like print roller marks like right here. I think a lot of these were from like the same sheet. So I think that probably had something to do with it. But I guess this wasn't one of them. I mean, I don't know. Another 10, another 10. All right. Now, the thing is, it's really cool grading all of these getting 10s, but because the print quality on simplified Chinese is so good, you know, you don't really get as much of a premium on a standard Gem Mint 10 with CGC as you do a pristine 10. You know, PSA 10, you'll definitely get a premium, but like CGC 10 is going to be lower and pristine 10 is maybe going to be at PSA 10, I think, for like simplified Chinese at least. It just works a little differently, I feel. But again, we got a Meowth in a 10, so we got a lot of 10s and we have 1 9. So I feel like some damage has to be coming here. We've got another pristine 10, and I think this is probably a Meowth. Yes. All right. We've got a Meowth and a pristine 10. So we got our 3rd pristine 10, and this time we've actually got a, you know, one of the better cards, quote unquote, in terms of probably collector demand out there. So very cool. I mean, this goes really well color-wise, the label with kind of the glow of the card. So this is a really cool one. All right, we got to be getting down on Meowth. We got another 10. All right, maybe not. I guess 1 9. That's crazy. That is crazy. I can't believe how many regular Gem Mint 10s we've had. Especially just looking at some of these, but I think we got to be getting into Cubone or Gengar. 6.5. All right. Let's try to find that. I'm wondering why. I definitely didn't think I'd get anything 6.5 out of this. God, man. I don't know what these cardboard dust is. That bottom border, maybe? I don't know if you can see that. Like right there. It's a little iffy. You know, maybe tripped on a sidewalk. A little scraped up. Oh, there's a little dent right there. Yeah, you see, I don't know if you can see that. And that top right corner's got a dent in there. So that's fair. I think that's, you know, that's pretty common in across a lot of the grading companies is a dent. You know, you're going low on the grade. So that's fair. I think that's a good catch. And that just shows you, like, I didn't catch that pre-grading. I also probably don't take enough time to pre-grade, if I'm being honest. You know, I usually look at the card show. I don't really do anything back at home. In this case, it was eBay. It wasn't even a card show. And I was probably moving too fast, which is just what I do. But a 6.5. So we've got a new low. Let's see if we can beat that. Let's see if we can get a 5.5. Man. I think it's probably a new Pokemon. So I'm just going to flip it over. Cubone in a 7.5. Now, this is where I'm starting to talk. I think, you know, like I was saying, some of these cards seemed like they were in worse condition. These really popular ones probably getting graded more. They're seeing that what they can do with grading. I'm not really sure, though. I'm not really like... I'm trying to make sure that it's visible here. Top, I guess that top border, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. 7.5, though. All right, let's add that to the pile. So we've got a 9, a 6.5, a 7.5, and the rest is 10 and up. So that's crazy. And we're like 20 cards in. Another regular label. Cubone, 9.5. Super close. So a lot of these Cubones were off center. I think they just get a sheet of these and they take the good ones, honestly, because I noticed the centering was much worse, obviously, as I got to some of these other ones. And that's fair. Like, that's not, you know, they're running a business. You know, grade the good cards. Like, that's, if you want to make money grading, like, that's how you do it. So I totally get that. Like I said, this is an experiment. I was willing to pay a price. And I think for some of these later ones, I'm going to pay a price. But this one is an awesome card. It is very off-center, so that I think that explains the 9.5, because that front centering is pretty bad, but otherwise really clean. So a very nice card. I think this artwork is just one of the best artworks of the last 2 years. Like, Cubone's got another Cubone finally. It's a little happy, you know. I think this is a huge artwork. So I think the future on this card is going to, I mean, it's already very popular, but I think the future on it is very, very high. And I guess new pile, because I don't have any 9.5. So I'm going to add that to the 9 pile. All right. Another Cubone. 8.5. Wow. We are on a, I think we almost went 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. That would have been awesome. But we are at an 8.5 now, so we're really using those half points today. This one, off center. Ooh, I can see up here, that top border. Looks like it ran into a wall. Yeah, it just hit its head a little bit. Yeah, and that's not too clean either up there. I think you can see that. A little rough. Tripped. Hit the wall, hit its head, fell on the sidewalk. Bunch of bad things happening to that one. But the 8.5, I feel like actually isn't that bad of a grade for kind of those things. So I'll take it. Next one, 8.5 again. Yeah, and you can see these grades going down. We were getting a lot of 10s earlier with some of the less sought after cards. And now we're getting some 8.5, some 7. So we got, let's see, we've gotten all half grades on the Cubones, weirdly enough. But still near mint. Looking at this one, not super sure again. Is it maybe? I don't know if that's visible. I'm trying to get that without the light. Like right there. Yeah, maybe a little something on that edge. But we'll add it to the 8.5 pile and we will continue on. We've got a pristine 10 right here, and I think I know what this is. It's a Cubone. And we got a Cubone in the pristine 10. So this is huge because this alone probably, I mean, covers the grading fees and even some of the cards for what I paid, just because this has gone up in price also since I submitted that. So kind of got lucky there, but I mean, this is a beautiful, it's going to be really hard to not keep this one because this is really cool. So I don't know. I'm not even sure about what I'm going to do with this one yet. But either way, super happy to see a pristine 10 on the Cubone. All right, next one. I think we got to be getting on to Gengar here soon. We got a Gem Mint 10 on the Cubone. All right, so another 10. I will add that happily, considering the fate of those other Cubones. Oh, I got a wrong pile. All right, let's see. And another Gem Mint 10 on a Cubone. Okay, cool, cool. that's a little bit of a recovery there at the end, because those other ones didn't do too well. And I'm not even really sure what I'm going to do with like a 7.5 or an 8.5, because selling those on eBay is asking to be lowballed. So maybe those are just something I take to shows, or maybe I just sell them cheap on eBay and just list them cheap, get lowballed, maybe skip that part. I don't know yet, but we'll see. So I think we got to be on Gengar now, or maybe one more Cubone. But okay, we're on Gengar, and this is the big part. I'd love a pristine, but obviously after seeing kind of the trajectory of what we're working with, I'm not super confident, but a 9.5 will absolutely take that. Such a cool card. I'm trying to look, but I got all these fuzzies. Looks like, again, that top border. I saw that on a couple of these is just like, it's just, you know, like I said, it's like it tripped, scraped its head, something like that. Definitely off center too. Definitely off center. So gonna put that one in the 9.5 pile. All right. Gengar in the 9. This one was, oh, we got one of those dents up there again, just right there. If we can see it. Yeah, you know, I mean, I was kind of expecting that, to be honest. So back looks really clean. Back looks really clean, but not much you can do about something like that. So that's the first, no, that's the second regular 9 today. A lot of half grades. A lot of half grades. Moving on, another Gengar in a 9. Ooh, getting cooked on these. All right, let's see. We've got a Gengar in an 8.5. This is not looking good right now. We've got 3 Gengars left, and then we have one other card that I submitted. So we'll see. Not looking like a pristine on these Gengars. So let's just, you know, maybe we can get at least 110. This looks clean on the back again. You know, nothing in the corners really. Like, looks good. Maybe 10. Yes. All right. We've got a Gengar and a 10. Needed that. That's huge. I was hoping at least for one of these in a 10, because this is obviously, at least at the time of purchasing these, was the biggest card. I believe the biggest card now is actually Cubone from this. So that is good news, that we got a couple 10s on the Cubones, and we're starting to get some on the Gengars. But let's see. Another regular back, so we know not a 10, or not a pristine 10. Let's see. Can we get another just regular 10? Yes. All right, cool. Another regular 10. This one off center on the front, but you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Back. I can see like actually a little like indent right there, kind of. I wonder, man, it's really hard to get a good, gotta work on this angle. It's just on that top border, I think. Or maybe it was just something from the packaging, but another 10 on Gengar. All right, last Gengar, and we can see it is just a regular border, so no pristine, but maybe one more 10? One more 10. All right, so that's 3 10s. I'll absolutely take that for the Gengar. I want to say that a CGC 10 standard probably goes for like 200-ish, maybe 250 if you're lucky right now. And I probably paid I think I paid actually like, I probably paid like 200 something for like each set of 5. Maybe it was that. I don't even think it was 200 at the time. So just because everything in the market has shot up so much, I'll still have a good come up on some of these, even though the grades weren't, you know, maybe what we were hoping for. But we've got one more card left, and our 10 pile is huge, and it looks like this last one's a pristine 10. So very happy to see that. This is just a card I bought on eBay because I like it. Probably seen it in a couple other videos that I posted, but it is another Lily's Clefairy, and this time in the pristine 10. So I love this card. I don't know what it is. It just, I feel like it's a very happy card. I'm a pretty happy guy, so I think maybe that's why I identify it, the smiles. I love the colors too. You know, I think that probably part of it is my wife loves Clefairy. I like Sun and Moon, so Lily, you know, great character. But the pristine 10. So I have now graded this Battle Partners Japanese version in the pristine 10 with tag and the pristine 10 with CGC. Do I go Beckett next? That's the question. That is the question. Stay tuned for some future video where maybe we do a little Beckett grading, but awesome ending on a pristine 10. All right, that wraps it up. Here are our results. We've got a bunch of gem mint 10s. We've got 5 pristine 10s. So let's just take a look at these one more time. Beautiful, beautiful assortment of pristine 10s. If you watch that whole thing and you want to see more content like this, please click that subscribe button. It helps immensely. And leave a comment. Let me know what was your favorite card out of all of these. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good one, and I will talk to you on the next one. Peace.